Hey, meteorologist James Wieland. Happy Sunday. It's Sunday evening, and we do have some wave action in store for us, possibly this upcoming week. So welcome to another Impact Zone. We're going to do this real quick here. Football game just is ending, and I'm going to have to go on the air in a second. So we're going to get a quick one out of the way here because I'm off for the next week. I'm going to hook you up with all the details for this upcoming week, and then I'm going to post this, and I'll type out some words for you a little bit later too, so you'll have it for all week, but I'm not going to be able to update it until next weekend. So let's get right to it. The Tropics Heating Up. Remember, we talked about this before, that MJO really being in our favorable phase here, and some amplitude to it is going to make things really spark up here. It doesn't create the action, it just gives it a little nudge in the right direction for development. We've had two storms here already formed. So let's get rid of me, and this is Faye right here, direct hit on Bermuda. 82 mile per hour wind gust at the airport there in Bermuda in the center, went straight over the island. The winds went calm for a bit. You can tell the center went right over it. Pressure bottomed out, and now it's pulling on up, racing off towards the northeast. Going to combine with this big old extratropical low out there and really create a huge storm in the Atlantic, heading over towards the contest site in Portugal. Looking like a lot of waves for them over there, but not a lot of good quality waves because it's going to be all onshore over there. So I don't know what they're going to do to get that contest going. Anyways, next, all eyes over here, Gonzalo, a very small and compact storm. And it's not really going to grow all that big, at least for the short term. But the forecast track does have this just skirting Puerto Rico, maybe just barely getting into the Caribbean, just skirting Puerto Rico, and then moving up towards the Bahamas. Remember last time I said there's that possibility it could take the southern route in here into the Bahamas and then bang a right out of here, but it doesn't look like it's going to do that now. This trough that's heading offshore, you can see it right here, it's heading offshore. By the time it gets out here, this will be over here, and it'll be enough to pull it on up. But the European model still has this trough kind of missing it, so even though it yanks it up a little bit here, the trough kind of moves out without it, high pressure builds back in, and the European kind of leaves it over here. So all the models, though, the hurricane models, do pull it out to sea and bang a right and kind of take a similar track to what Faye did here. But it's going to be lower in latitude when it develops, so the possibility will be there to give us some swell, possibly even a little slot swell through the Bahamas. Normally I'd like to see a storm, a bigger storm, number one, area-wise, and a stronger, more potent storm too, by the time it gets into this region here. If it does strengthen into a hurricane, or even more than that, like it's forecast to strengthen in a Category 2 storm, if it's that way down here, that possibility will be there to get a little slot swell here in the South Florida at those normal spots that get it. I won't give it away. You're going to have to either ask around or search for yourself. But that will be late Tuesday or early Friday. That's the time frame if we are going to get anything down here. Now, up coast should see a little pulse from this too. It's gonna, if it does move quickly like Faye did here, it's only going to be a couple-day pulse, and then that will be it. Now, will we see anything from Faye? Well, we're already kind of seeing some longer period swells here up in the central Florida, but I want you to look at this little right here. This is part of the front and the high that's a little bit further up here, kind of moving off with northeast winds, sort of in relation to this, but I think we may see a little pulse here from this come Wednesday. This little fetch, it's right in here, and we'll see that on Wednesday, and that possibly can make it down to North County, say Jupiter, maybe even Palm Beach too. Half of Palm Beach County may see this swell. Of course, the bigger, the farther north that you head. Let's go ahead and take a look at the models here. First, the GFS. We'll quickly go through this. I got to keep looking back at this game to see if it's ending. It's still going on though. First thing of business here, let me go to Monday morning. So there's Monday morning, and you're seeing this onshore wind picking up here too. So we get like an east-southeast wind picking up. It's already picked up right now. If you've been outside, well, you go outside, you know it's windy out there. So I think that's going to pick up some wind chop for Monday. So building wind chop for Monday from just this high moving offshore flexing its muscle a little bit and cranking in some east and east-southeast wind. You can see right here is Faye moving on out. Here's the big extra tropical low up here. It's going to gobble it up. It's going to move up into that. Again, that's going to be Portugal all over that. And then we have New Gonzalo down here. So go through time here and let's see. There were some changes here. Here's Gonzalo right here. Notice a very small storm. We do have a pretty good fetch right here, pointed at Central Florida. Again, that's not us, but it's within driving distance. So that's why combination of this along with this kind of high pressure fetch here, see that? They'll get a nice push from, say, Fort Pierce northward of some east or even east-southeast ground swell come Thursday, Friday, possibly for that. And kind of good timing, too, because we have a cold front that's moving through. Here it is right here. It's going to move through on Wednesday night. Winds are going to go offshore. You can see them. If you can't see the lines, I'll draw it in here. Winds go offshore Wednesday morning, or say Wednesday midday or so, and Wednesday morning for the Treasure Coast, just as the swell starts to arrive out of the east-northeast. So that's good news there, that things will clean up and we'll get a little pulse on Wednesday. And then if we do get the little slot swell on Thursday, late Thursday, here's late Thursday, we'll still have some offshore winds for it to filter on in. Once this thing starts to pull away, that's it. Even though it's in our swell window, it's still, when it moves away, it doesn't really send anything back unless it's super duper close to us, which is not. So that'll be our one chance for that. The good news is, if anything does come, it's going to be clean and offshore for a little bit. And notice too, we go through time, that moves away. We have high pressure right here. It's really low in latitude, so it will move like this. And our winds will be calm to light for a while. So it's kind of too bad too that this didn't work out a little bit better, because we'd have a really nice swell with some nice calm winds and some nice glassy conditions. And then see, that moves away. That's Gonzalo right there. Let me move this up a little bit since we're not looking at that anymore. And that one little wave behind Gonzalo, notice here it is here. It doesn't really close it off into anything. All eyes turn in here though at some action going on. And the reason we're looking down here, we're not, you know, the GFS is crazy, always putting something crazy down here and up towards us. Done it for a while and none of it's ever come true. But we got to look at the weather pattern to see if that's possible. And I'm thinking that, you know, it is possible when we get to the end of October, we're going to have an old frontal boundary dangling around in here, always at the tail end of a front. There could be some craziness, some shenanigans happening down here, or even down here. And I think that's what the model's picking up on. It's not necessarily picking up on that there's picking up in exactly this spot. It's picking up on the fact that the pattern is there to possibly have something here. That's why you keep seeing it. If you do watch these models, you see it every, you know, it doesn't really advance in frames. It's always like the last frames of the model. It's because it knows that conditions are going to be favorable in here for some kind of development. The pattern is going to suit that. We have a frontal boundary dangling off. We have sort of a little troughing in here with, I can't draw on the screen all the way back here, but high pressure there, and you know, that can lead to some action down here in the Caribbean. And that time of year, we get to the end of August, that's where we do see some action down there. And I'll just show you this for fun, even though we're not even going to believe this at the moment. Here's pulling something out of the Caribbean and pulling it up over Florida again. It was on this for a while, actually, for this upcoming week. Of course, that's gone now. And now it's back to its old shenanigans there, trying to pull something out of there. But again, we need to watch it, even though we're not believing that specific thing. We need to watch that area for some possible development come late October. Maybe that'll be the last shebang here of the hurricane season. So definitely something to keep an eye on. The MJO, like I said, this is what gives it an extra little boost. And notice it does have a little bit of amplitude here. It's in our phase here of 1. That's us. That's our neck of the woods. And it does come out a little. Notice it does go back, so depending on how long it stays way out here will be on how long this enhanced activity will be. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you out in the water. I'm going to update it again in detail here. I'll probably do it as this game ends, as it just ended here. So I'll see you guys out in the water. Looks like a little bit of waves tomorrow with some wind chop. And then clean up swell on Wednesday, and then possibly some kind of slot swell, Providence Channel swell, late Thursday, early Friday. That's not set in stone yet, and those are very, very hard to predict, but that's the time frame that I think it would be happening. All right, guys, peace. We'll see you.